Good afternoon, life science students. We are beginning chapter 12 in our textbook, a study of the invertebrates. We are moving away from plants and into the animal kingdom. As we look at the animal kingdom, we see a couple of objectives that we need to begin with as we introduce the animal kingdom. Number one, you need to be familiar with this word zoology. Zoology, the study of animals. Zoo means animals. Logy, study of. Anytime you see that logy, it is study of. So zoology is the study of animals. Well, what is an animal? Just what is an animal? You're going to need to know what an animal is. It is eukaryotic. That means that it has membrane-bound organelles, the cells that make up these little critters. No matter what they are, they have membrane-bound organelles. They are multicellular, which means there is more than one cell. They have organized tissues. You remember a lot of cells working together to perform a single task. That is a tissue. So they have organized tissues. They are consumers, which means they do not perform photosynthesis. Now, most animals are able to move. Most animals eat something. They don't just absorb things. Most animals have organs, and most animals reproduce sexually, although some animals can reproduce asexually. But we'll get to those as we look at worms. Well, as we think of animals, our book points out to us, typically we think of our lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my. Those really are the minority of animals. Majority of animals are invertebrates. So we're going to begin our discussion of animals with invertebrates. Invertebrates, you see in our notes over here, make up 95% of known animals. If we wanted to look and see what type of invertebrates are the most popular, we'd pull up this chart here. And we see arthropods compose the majority of the invertebrates. These are mainly insects, but some other things also. We get sponges, cnidarians, flatworms, roundworms, annelids, echinoderms, mollusks, other invertebrates, chordatas, all of our animal species. But we see here that most of our animals are invertebrates. And in fact, most of the invertebrates are arthropods, with the majority of arthropods being insects. Well, so let's look at different types of invertebrates. First, what is an invertebrate? An invertebrate is an animal that does not have a backbone. You'll need to know that. An invertebrate is an animal that does not have a backbone. They have skeletons. Some of those skeletons are made up of different things. In fact, we'll find out that some of those skeletons are even made up of water. But it's still a skeleton. The skeleton has one major purpose: providing mechanical support. Some of these skeletons provide security, provide safety, but mainly the skeletons are there to provide mechanical support. Okay, back up a little bit. What is an animal? Eukaryotic, multicellular, organized tissues, consumers. They eat, move, have organs, and reproduce sexually. Zoology, the study of animals, and an invertebrate is an animal without a backbone. Though they don't have a backbone, they will have skeletons, and let's go ahead and talk about our types of invertebrates. Major type of invertebrate here is the sponge. This is the one we're going to talk about first, the sponge. Now, what you see on the left is a sponge. SpongeBob is a very poor example of a sponge. What you use in your kitchen sink or to scrub your bathroom, that's a man-made sponge for the most part. I guess some of you might have real sponges. They work really well. Some people like to use them. But most of us have those man-made sponges. What you see here on the left is a typical sponge. They're a barrel shape, most of them, although we'll see in a video tomorrow the elephant ear sponge and a few others. We'll watch them eat. Yes, these sponges do eat. They are in phylum Porifera. Phylum Porifera. And scoot this over here so you can see all of that. The sponge is in phylum Porifera, meaning that food and oxygen are brought into the body through pores. And here you can see these little pore cells in the cutaway of the sponge. Everything's brought in through these little pores. It goes into the body through the pore, and then it gets pumped out. We'll look at that in a video in class tomorrow. The sponges live in water. The babies or the embryos may swim around a little bit, but the adults are sessile, and that means that they are permanently attached to a surface. They're stuck somewhere. They're not moving around. Their body structure is really a giant pump. Again, your food is going to be coming in. Their oxygen is going to be coming in through these little pores. You see the cutaway with the pores. They go into then the central part of the sponge, and they're going to be pumping that water out. Skeletons are made of spongin and spicules, and we'll see in our text that those sponges and that the spongin and spicules, it's basically a flexible fibrous protein. Either that or it is a spicule made of calcium carbonate or silica. If you've ever used a real sponge, what you're using is the dead skeleton of a sponge, just kind of so you know. These are filter feeders. They filter water in order to obtain food and oxygen. So they're on the bottom of the ocean, and in fact, most of them are going to be fairly deep. We'll see that again in a video in class tomorrow. They'll live up to around 300, 350, 400 feet down. They take the dead skin cells, the dead animal cells from other animals, the feces from other animals, and they filter it through their body, and that's what they eat. They consume basically the waste of other animals. So we have our sponges. Just to review a little bit before you take the quiz, zoology, study of animals. Majority of animals are invertebrates. An invertebrate is an animal without a backbone. Different types of invertebrates. We have sponges that are in phylum Porifera, and they are filter feeders. Filter feeders. Okay, look forward to seeing you in class tomorrow. Please make sure that you check that you have seen this video and take the quiz. Have a great day.